Beekeeping is very popular in North Carolina, and we have more beekeepers than any other state. The great majority are hobbyists with less than 10 beehives each. Cooperative Extension Agent Kenny Bailey is a member of Cumberland County's Beekeepers Association, and in October he begins teaching a free 6-week class on beginning beekeeping.
In Cumberland County, we probably have about 50 or more beekeepers. Most of them are hobbyists. We have a few people that do it as a sideline business and one or two that are very serious about the beekeeping industry. North Carolina actually has the most beekeepers of any state in the United States. There are several things in the industry that beekeeping is known for, not just honey. Honey is a big part of it. Beeswax is another big product that we get from the beehive. But one of the most important things we get from honeybees is the pollinate services. You know, without bees to pollinate crops such as watermelons and cucumbers, squash and apples, we wouldn't have these fruit and vegetables. And we have a number of beekeepers in the state and across the country who provide honeybees to farmers for rent so that they'll have enough pollinators on their farm to do adequate pollination. So that's probably one of the most important parts of beekeeping to the world, actually. The Cumberland County Beekeepers Association is an affiliate of the North Carolina State Beekeeping Association. And the Cumberland County Beekeepers meet the last Tuesday night of every month at 7 o'clock in the Cooperative Extension Center here in Cumberland County. And we have probably about 35 or 40 members, and we get together and talk about beekeeping and have some type of educational segment. And then we're always getting calls from schools wanting somebody to come in and talk about honeybees. So a lot of our members spend a lot of time in the spring and the fall when school is in, going around and talking to the school groups. And this is the fun part of beekeeping, is talking to the kids. I think the biggest misconception is that honeybees, they sting, and a lot of people think that that's all they're out there for. They think that every bee that they come across is going to sting them, and what people don't realize that the honeybee sting, the purpose of it is to defend the colony. And if you get stung by a honeybee, when they're out working flowers and collecting the nectar and pollen, they have no desire whatsoever to sting you. If they sting you, then they die. They're not going to waste a sting on somebody just because they're angry with them. Starting on October the 4th at 6 p.m. over in the Cooperative Extension Center, we're going to start a 6-week beginning beekeeping class. And the purpose of the class is to give you the information that you need in order to get started in the beekeeping. We'll cover things such as the equipment that you're needing, the biology of the honeybee, what you need to know in order to be able to keep bees. We'll talk about how honey is made, how other products come from the hive. We'll talk about the relationship between honeybees and plants, which is very important because honey actually comes from nectar produced by flowers, so plants are very important to the honey process. And then we'll also talk about some problems. We have a lot of problems with honeybees that people need to be aware of if they're going to get involved in beekeeping. But it's not just open to beekeepers. If somebody is just interested in learning about bees, they can come take the course. It's free. We hope to follow up in the spring with a hands-on portion, which there'll be some cost involved with that, but the fall class is free. We've had numerous problems with honeybees over the past 25 or 30 years. Started about 25 years ago with a little mite that came into the country, and we figured out what to do about that, and we've been able to get that under control. And then there were some other pests that came in. And then a few years ago, we started having some problems with colonies just disappearing with no explanation, and that was what was called colony collapse disorder. Now, we still haven't figured out completely what's causing that. It seems to have subsided a little bit, but it's still out there, and we're still doing research on that. But the main thing is we want to get more people involved in beekeeping, because the more we can have involved in beekeeping, the more people taking care of honeybee colonies, the more bees we can keep around. if you're only keeping 1 or 2 colonies as a hobby, it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but it's like any other activity. The larger you get with it, the more time consuming it's going to be. Once we get a colony of bees started, you'll spend more time with it the first season than you will any other season. But once you get it started, going into the hive about once every 6 weeks throughout the season is about all you need. So it's not that, when you keep it down to 1 or 2 colonies, it's not that time consuming. Probably the biggest obstacle is, one, if you're afraid of stings, or if you're unfortunate enough to have an allergy to bee stings, see your doctor and get tested for it before you start keeping bees. If you want to learn more about beekeeping, you can contact me at 910-321-6871. You can go to our Cooperative Extension website. You can also go to the State Beekeeping Association website. Don't try to kill everything that stings and flies. They're not necessarily going to hurt you, but they're a benefit to us, so we want to protect them. It's been estimated that 1/3 of our food is the direct result of honeybee pollinating. So we want the public, everybody, to learn as much as you can about honeybees and do what you can to protect them yourself, because it's vital to our food supply, to our society.